Hi from Florida. Today, I wanted to say one thing about triangulation again. I know I've mentioned it before in other videos. This time, I'm going to talk about triangulation in friendships. If you have friends around you, you want your friends to support you and care about you and love you and, be there to help you out, support, like when you have some kind of difficulty or, doing what friends do, always holding each other up. But when you have a narcissistic friend, a lot of times they're in secret competition with you, and your best interest is not what they want. They just want to compete with you and do better than you and always one up you. And you could really tell about this triangulation business is when if you have a bad spot in your life, whether it be financial difficulties, family issues, they should be there. But if you're with someone that is a narcissistic friend, they're going to rub their accomplishments in your face when you're not doing as well as them. They're going to get new people as friends that they feel that are financially better than you and have more material possessions that they could benefit from just by being in their presence. So there's a few examples I can give you of this situation. If you have a friend and you've been friends for a long time, and then all of a sudden you're in a different kind of category, like for me, for example, I was a stay-at-home mother and I had a family, and we had the perfect, 50s style family where I stayed at home and uh, my husband at the time would work, and we had money, and we had a good house and everything, and we took care of our children really well. Basically, I was at home and I did like all the super mom stuff, like 4-H, PTO, volunteer. I was volunteering for numerous charities. um, I did a lot of stuff, and I was around moms that were like me that had uh, you know a better lifestyle than most, upper middle class. When I got divorced, of course, that wasn't the case. And I lost a lot of friends then. A lot of friends just dropped off. And I had friends that were, um, I don't know, we just kind of drew apart because our lives were not the similar. It's not like I could go to dinner and bitch about my husband and talk about how, whatever problems they have anymore, because I didn't have a husband anymore to talk about. And they would talk about new cars and new iPhones and stuff like that. And, it was really uncomfortable because I was like, whatever, I don't need that shit anymore. And really didn't have the money to keep up with that lifestyle. Um, and then if they call you up and they brag, like they'll ask you how you're doing, and you're like, well, I'm making it, but it's not the greatest. And then they'll brag about what new car they have, what vacation they've gone on, and then you'll feel worse, because they want you to make you feel like you're left out. And then they stop being friends with you, like close friends with you, and they start hanging out with somebody else they think that is on the same level, that's still married. And then they start hanging out with some other friend, right? And then they call you up and they say that, just like, oh, I went to this event and I took this person with me to say, they leave you out of doing things together. Um, they leave you out of going out to dinner, but they'll talk about going out to dinner or socializing with their new friends. And that's triangulation. That's trying to make you feel bad and put you down. And the reason why they're doing that is because secretly, underneath everything, the whole entire time you've been friends with them, they have envy. jealousy. They think you have better stuff than them. And when you look back on like the whole time you've been friends with somebody, say for example, then you remember like if you ever got anything, they're like, oh, I have this too, or I have that. But you didn't realize it at the time, and then you start looking back and then you realize this person was secretly in competition with you the whole entire time. And now they they think they one up you, and then not only do they want to one up you, they want to destroy you too and put you down a peg and get a new bestie that they do stuff with and to make you feel bad. And then the only time they call is to brag about how they're doing stuff, or they have this or have that. So remember that. That's not a friend, that's an enemy, in my opinion. And why should you talk to them anymore? Why should you give them any information? They try to mine for information about you so that they can go and gossip to their new bestie about how bad you are doing. So remember that. Do not give out information about yourself after narcissistic abuse. And you realize that someone was probably secretly in competition and jealous. You do not want that. It's sad. It's really, really sad that people do this. They could triangulate you also when you have a friend with their, if they, their husband or significant other too. They could triangulate to get manipulative and get calculating about that. It helps them out on both ends. It can help them out on with their significant other by saying, "Oh, I'm doing stuff with her," and they're like, "Well, why are you doing that?" And then they could triangulate you that way, and then the significant other could hate you, or they can triangulate you with their new friend and talk about stuff and gossip about you with their new friend and manipulate them. They love three, anything to do with three. Like, I can remember when I was volunteering and like three people would be like the head. And then what they do is they secretly go behind your back and whisper to this person and go, "Hey, why don't we do this?" But they don't make a decision, and then they go over to you and they whisper. And then before you know it, because it's three, you're not all threes talking together at the same time, then they get whatever they want by manipulation that way. So that's another one to be worried about that friends do. They like the three to whisper into this year and whisper into that year. So that's another thing that you have to be concerned about. Threes are bad, when friends. You should have like one true friend, and if you have two, you should have four. You know what I mean? Like two and two. But I know I'm laughing about it now because I see it, and it's kind of like a joke to me now because I know what they're doing. They always want to try to one up you, and they always want to triangulate you and make you feel bad and get a new friend. Sad. You could be the most loyal friend and they could do this to you. You could have helped them out several times, but in your worst hour, they're not there. They just want to hear about your bad times and go, "Oh, that's awful." But they won't help you. But then they'll go to their new bestie and spill the tea about you and your life and how bad you're doing. "Oh, they're just so bad. They don't, their finances aren't good and their relationships aren't good." They love to do that. So triangulation is just a terrible, terrible thing. It is one of the most insidious tools of a narcissist in their little tool belt. Triangulation. So watch out for that, people. Keep your friends really close. They say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I disagree with that. I say get rid of all your enemies. Cut them off like the head of a snake. And you shouldn't have to talk to someone and feel like you can only give out certain information. If you have to delete certain things about your life to not tell people because you're worried they might, use it against you later, then you shouldn't have that friend around you. Period. They should be cut out, cut off like the head of a snake. It's just like bad relationships, bad friendships. Cut it off. It'll make you sick, mentally sick and physically sick. Get rid of it. I hope that everyone has true, really good friends. And that they don't triangulate you and manipulate you. Because if they manipulate and they're calculating, that means they've been thinking about it. It's not like they just come up with it, they're thinking about it. And guess what that is, in my opinion? The definition of that is warfare. Just like if you go into a battle and you calculate what you want to do to fight the enemy and manipulate the situation to win the battle, that's what these people are doing to you. They're calculating and manipulative. So treat it as an act of warfare that you must use warfare back to them. Cut them off. Don't give them information about your life that they can gossip and undermine you with. And move on with your life and find true friends, or stay alone, stand alone, and be strong. Remember always that God is on your side. If you live in the path of God, no matter what happens, you're a child of God and you will be protected, just like in Matthew. No weapons formed against you shall prosper. Remember to always stay in the path of righteousness and the light and God, and no narcissist can destroy them. Remember to always be grateful for what you have, grateful for your true friends, and be happy. Don't dwell on it. Just cut them off. Cut off all fake friends, all bad narcissistic relationships of any kind, family, friends, or in love relationships. Cut them all off and live the righteous path of God, and you will be the richest person in the world. No matter what money you have, you will be rich spiritually. Everyone have a good day from Florida. Get some gardening done. Messing with the fall. Got to look at my chickies. And I'm happy right now for all that. I am very, very grateful. Everybody have a good day. Lots of love from Florida.